What's the good word, y'all? It's your boy DKB here. Major win for us. I'm so excited. This is the year that I'm happy that my kids are old enough to see some of these games with me. Maybe I can convince them to, join the Jets fandom, but 24-3 victory for the New York Jets, and this was the dominant win that I've been waiting for. The fact that it's against the Patriots is really the cherry on top, but we get to jump into an early division lead, right? We're going into second place, and we'll see what happens with Buffalo here. But not only that, you take a look as well as just the playoff landscape, and you have teams like the Ravens that are coming in at 0-2. Obviously, we have a leg up on the Titans, so we're looking really good in the AFC picture right now. From the game perspective, there is a lot to be excited about, and the crazy part is I've already mentioned about wanting to be very critical of this team. There were so many more plays that were left out there. You just think about the 6 or 7 targets, somewhere in that range, that Garrett Wilson couldn't even pull in because of some kind of minor miscues between him and Aaron Rodgers, either a throw just outside of where Garrett should have been or just low, any manner of things, right? Garrett Wilson looks like every single week he's primed to just have an unbelievable game, right? 100 yards seems like an easy thing for him to acquire with some of the chunk plays that could be ripped off if him and Aaron Rodgers were as in sync as they were during the offseason. So that's something to keep in mind. I do want to try to pinpoint what's been happening there, because it's not by miles that they haven't been able to be on the same page, but just minor little hints. But it was great to see as many people involved as we thought, and this was really the key to unlocking the offense in this particular game. Having Aaron Rodgers just focus in on 2 or 3 players it's never going to be a recipe for success, to be black and white about it. So seeing Tyler Conklin come alive, and one of the things I love most is you seeing the best of 2 worlds. When he targeted Tyler Conklin, a lot of it was on plays where he was forced outside of the pocket, or he extended some plays, and in kind of the backyard football game that turns into, Tyler Conklin was his trusted source. And then, of course, he was able to manipulate the safeties, move some linebackers out the way in certain occasion with his eyes, and Tyler Conklin was the main source. So this is kind of what you expected from Conklin on the high end, performance-wise, as a guy that can get the job done against the second and third level, and potentially batter ram himself into some additional yards. Braylon Allen, the stat sheet's not going to look excellent, but when you think about the amount of times this guy was sumo flipping players off of him, lowering his shoulder and just dropping the guy ahead of him, having a second to kind of stand over a guy, look over him, like he's crazy, and then still try to churn out a couple more yards. I'm obsessed. At this point, it seems foolish that I ever thought Isaiah Davis could potentially outplay him in the beginning of the year. And while I still think Isaiah Davis has a great skill set, Braylon Allen is clearly another different kind of beast that we've been able to add into this back room. So I'm super excited for him. He already has a ridiculous highlight reel that probably could last about a minute or so of him just stiff-arming and trucking guys and running through some people. You take a look at Breece Allen, he's doing his, Breece Hall, he's doing his normal damage, so the Killer Bee tandem is definitely in full effect. Allen Lazard has definitely come back to life. This is one of the pieces we can't forego, because it was interesting hearing it in the national television clip where I heard them saying, Allen Lazard's looking like the former number 1 target for Aaron Rodgers again, and you can make an argument that that's true. Out of everybody from a chemistry standpoint, Allen Lazard and Aaron Rodgers is definitely leagues ahead of everyone else. So if you see the damage Allen Lazard is doing, again, think about what this can mean for Garrett Wilson when he gets on the same page, and for really the rest of the party, right? Mike Williams hasn't had a breakout game yet. He was more involved this particular week, though. And then defensively, kudos. The defense looks like it moves different with some of these younger guys in here at linebacker, looking at Jamie Sherwood, looking at guys like Chaz Surratt, with them being able to fly over Ulbrich got a little bit more aggressive with the blitzes. You've seen Chuck Clark coming off of the line of scrimmage late and being able to force Jacoby Brissett into some throws he didn't want or hitches that led to sacks. Will McDonald, he gets shot out of barrel off the line of scrimmage. As a speed rusher, that's his bread and butter, and it looks great. It honestly looks great, and I would lean into the fact that now, after seeing 2 games of this, it's only 2 games, but you can, for those that were Will McDonald truthers, you can start saying, hey, that guy probably should have gotten more snaps previously, but I think the difference is you can tell that he's playing the run a lot better. Now, I'll save any takeaways in that regard for all 22 when I can check that out. But he does look like he has the actual strength to be able to hold up. Recognition seems a lot better, and he is a guy that looks like he plays a ton he acts quite instantly on his instincts, right? And so if he sees ball, he can get to ball and he can make some plays. And so I think he added at least 1.5, maybe it was 2.5 sacks this game, already bypassing what he did his rookie year last week. It looks like he could, end up eclipsing 10 sacks pretty easily. And so now you also go back to the Hassan Reddick situation and you start looking at that and saying, well, maybe we can actually get by without him, right? Quentin Williams was coming to life. Javon Kinlaw still showing that he can get the job done in the run game, also popping in the pass production, in the pass rush. I'm excited. Sauce Gardner, I'm starting to actually get a little bit concerned because I think it was Jalen Polk, the battle of the ones, and it looked like Polk was getting the better of him. So I don't know quite what's going on there. It's something to key in on, but overall, I couldn't be more than excited. Chuck Clark, by the way, fabulous, tremendous play, being able to rip that ball. I want to say it was from Stevenson, one of the rush plays where he got it out just before his knee hit the ground, and it proves, right, that this is a well-coached defense. They know the expectations. These guys are playing through the whistle, and sometimes that leads to some, ridiculous head-scratching penalties, but 90% of the time you're seeing big plays get done. So the last thing really is just the turnovers. If we can end up landing a couple more of those, and you've seen it tonight with being able to get the ball back in Aaron Rodgers' hands, which, by the way, I think before we even got to the second quarter, or maybe even the third drive, I think Aaron Rodgers had already dished the ball around to like 6, 7, maybe 8 different players at that point in time. So the game plan looked great. I will say, because it was called out during the game as well, this was definitely one of Nathaniel Hackett's best jobs, and the execution was much better from the offense as a whole. So I'm super pumped. The great thing about this win as well, not just that we're going 2-1 into week 4, but we get those additional rest days now that we're through one of the worst parts of our schedule. And so I think this worked out perfectly, right? But let me know what your guys' thoughts are. There was a ton of things that can get called out from this, but I'm dying. I've had like 3 hours of sleep the last 2 days. So let me know what your guys' favorite parts is, best moments, takeaways, whatever in the comments below. I'll catch you guys again. Peace.